Hello everyone! A brand new harvest season has arrived. Imagine yourself standing in the middle of a vast field, surrounded by millions of crops waiting to be gathered. But have you ever wondered, how can people lift such a massive amount from the ground and then distribute it across the entire world in just a few weeks? In today's video, we are going to explore harvesting methods that are both traditional and modern, where human labor and machines work hand in hand to create bountiful seasons. Are you ready? Let's get started. Pumpkins are an important agricultural product, and when harvest season arrives, the fields turn into a brilliant sea of golden orange. Behind every pumpkin that ends up on a dining table lies a meticulous process that stretches from the farm all the way to the factory. Workers usually head to the fields between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning to avoid the scorching sun. They are assigned specific areas and receive detailed instructions about the quality standards for pumpkins before they begin picking. For fresh exports, workers use scissors or small knives to cut the stem about 1 to 2 inches long, which is roughly 3 to 5 centimeters. In order to keep the pumpkin firm and looking good. Each pumpkin is carefully placed into baskets, and the larger ones sometimes require 2 people to carry them. Hand harvesting is slower, but it preserves the best quality. On large farms, specialized harvesting machines can work many times faster than human labor. These machines lift the pumpkins, cut the stems, and place them directly onto a conveyor belt. However, because the pumpkins can easily get scratched, this method is mostly used for industrial processing. The pumpkins are gathered into piles and then transported to a central collection point. Here, workers remove the damaged ones, while the rest are placed into large bins and taken to the factory. During peak season, work can last until late at night. At the factory, the pumpkins are thoroughly washed and then sorted. The best-looking ones are set aside for fresh export. Smaller or irregular ones go to the food processing line. Severely damaged ones are used for their seeds or turned into animal feed. Pumpkins that meet export standards are carefully wrapped, packed into cartons or wooden crates, labeled with their origin and harvest date, and finally moved into cold storage before being shipped across the globe. As the sun sets, both workers and machines take a break. The fruits of a hard day's work, tens of tons of pumpkins, which is about tens of metric tons, are ready to reach consumers around the world. Unlike pumpkins that rest on the ground, potatoes hide beneath the soil, so harvesting them requires both human effort and machinery. On small fields, farmers use hoes or dig them out by hand. This method is slower, but it prevents the tubers from being bruised and is often chosen for fresh exports. On larger areas, potato harvesters are used. The blades dig deep into the soil, lift the entire plant, shake off the dirt, and then move the potatoes onto a conveyor belt before dropping them into storage bins. This method produces high yields, but the tubers are more prone to scratches, making it more suitable for industrial processing. Workers operate in shifts from early morning until evening. They follow behind the machines to remove damaged tubers, stones, and debris, while also handling the loading and gathering of potatoes at central collection points. From there, the potatoes are transported to central warehouses, where defective ones are discarded before being sent to the factory. At the factory, they are thoroughly washed and sorted. High-quality tubers are packed for fresh sales. Medium-sized ones are processed into snacks and soups. Small or misshapen ones are turned into flour or animal feed. Potatoes that meet the standards are packed in mesh bags or cartons, then stored in cold rooms at 39 to 43 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 4 to 6 degrees Celsius, before being transported worldwide in refrigerated containers. As the evening sun sets, the potato fields quietly return to their natural calm. The roaring machines come to a stop, leaving behind rows of freshly turned soil still carrying the damp scent of the harvest season. Meanwhile, inside the factories, conveyor belts keep running non-stop, as bag after bag of carefully packed potatoes are prepared to journey across the globe. But the journey of crops does not end here. After potatoes, there is another root vegetable tied closely to hard labor and human creativity, a crisp and sweet tuber, often found in soups or served at family meals. Come along with me as we follow the farmers into the radish fields and discover what makes their harvest process so special. When the morning mist still lingers, neat rows of radishes emerge beneath the fresh green leaves. Farmers begin their work by pulling up a few plants to check their size. Radishes grow with half their bodies buried in the soil and half exposed above ground, making them easier to harvest than potatoes. By grabbing the leafy tops and giving a firm pull, the pale white roots are revealed. Farmers carefully pull out each plant, brush off the soil, and tie them neatly into bundles. The long, straight, and well-shaped radishes are kept aside for fresh sales. A little later, large fields become busy with specialized harvesting machines. These machines cut away the leafy tops while clamping and pulling the radishes from the ground. The roots are then carried onto a conveyor belt, shaken free of soil, and dropped into storage bins. Compared to manual harvesting, machines shorten the process many times over. A field of several hectares, which is about several dozen acres, can be finished in just a single day. However, to keep operations running smoothly, workers must constantly follow the machines, adjust their speed, and remove radishes that break or crack under too much pulling force. This is when the workers are busiest, divided into groups. One group harvests by hand and ties the bundles. Another follows the machines, sorting the good roots from the bad ones. A third group loads them onto small trucks and transports them to collection points. Every task is rushed, because radishes must be harvested quickly. If they stay under the sun for too long, they wilt and lose their freshness. By sunset, trucks loaded with radishes line up on their way to the factory. Here, the processing line runs continuously. First, the radishes are washed with high-pressure water systems. Then they are sorted. The well-shaped ones are packed in mesh bags or cartons for fresh sales, while the smaller, broken, or irregular ones are processed into pickles, juice, or animal feed. All are packaged and stored in cold rooms at 32 to 36 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 0 to 2 degrees Celsius, to preserve their crispness and freshness for as long as possible. A harvest day ends with tons of radishes, which is several metric tons, ready for export. From the quiet white roots lying beneath the soil, Through the labor of farmers and the support of machinery, they are transformed into products that travel to many countries, appearing on the dining tables of millions of families around the world. Carrot harvesting. The root vegetable often compared to a fairy of the land. Before heading to the fields to pull carrots, farmers must prepare thoroughly. They wake up early, often before the sun has fully risen. Work clothes, gloves, boots, and simple tools such as leaf-cutting knives and plastic baskets are all brought along. On large farms, workers are even assigned specific tasks at the start of the day. Some pull by hand, some operate the machines, and others handle transportation. On smaller plots, the work begins with a quality check. Farmers pull up a few plants to see if the roots have grown big and long enough. Once they are sure the carrots are ready for harvest, they grip the leafy tops, pull firmly, shake off the soil, and gather them into bundles. This step may seem simple, but it must be done quickly, as a carrot field can contain tens of thousands of roots. Farmers work while also sorting, keeping cracked or pest-damaged carrots separate from the good ones. On larger farms, machines take over most of the workload instead of manual labor. Carrot harvesters are designed to pull and trim at the same time. The system grips the leafy tops firmly, lifts the carrots from the soil, removes excess dirt, trims off the leaves, and drops the roots straight into storage bins. A single machine can replace the work of dozens of laborers, saving both time and costs, which is crucial when all harvesting must be completed in just a few short days. Usually, mornings are spent harvesting, while the afternoons are dedicated to sorting and packing. Workers who harvest by hand or follow behind the machines collect any carrots that were left behind. Others load the produce onto small trucks and transport it to central collection points. The atmosphere is always busy because carrots must be kept fresh and cannot stay under the hot sun for too long. When the trucks bring the carrots to the factory, the processing line immediately begins. First, the carrots are thoroughly washed with a high-pressure water system to remove all soil and sand. Then they are sorted. Straight, even, high-quality carrots are packed in mesh bags or cartons for fresh sales and export. Smaller or uneven carrots are processed into juice, salads, or pre-cut packs. Broken or misshapen carrots are used to make powder or turned into animal feed. Every stage is carefully controlled to ensure quality. Finally, the packed carrots are stored in cold rooms at 32 to 36 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 0 to 2 degrees Celsius. This allows them to stay fresh longer while waiting to be loaded into refrigerated containers and transported to ports. From there, their journey continues across the sea to major markets such as Japan, South Korea, and Europe. As the sun sets, workers leave the fields, but in the storage facilities, crates of carrots remain ready to begin their journey the very next day. A hard day of harvesting ends, leaving behind both fatigue and pride as these vegetables from home continue to reach families around the world. Cabbage harvesting. A new season begins. Each cabbage crop usually lasts more than 2 months. When the outer leaves have curled tightly, forming a firm, round head, farmers know the time for harvesting has arrived. On the night before, they often check the weather forecast. If the next day is cool, it will be the perfect time to cut the cabbages, as the vegetables will stay fresh longer. In the early chill of the morning, workers head to the fields carrying sharp knives and large baskets. Unlike carrots, which must be pulled from the soil, cabbages are harvested by cutting across the stem. With a single decisive cut, the whole head is separated and neatly placed in rows along the bed. Others follow behind to gather them into baskets or hand-pulled carts. The work may seem lighter than root pulling, but it requires both speed and precision, since every cabbage head must remain intact without torn leaves. On large farms, cabbage harvesters are put into use. Moving slowly across the field, the machines slice the heads from their stems and lift them onto a conveyor belt, which carries them into large bins at the back. This system saves significant labor, especially when tens of tons, about tens of metric tons, need to be harvested within just a few days. Even so, in many places, people still combine machines with hand-picking, since some cabbages lie beyond the machine's reach or require more careful selection. Right after harvesting, workers remove the old or wilted outer leaves, keeping only the crisp, green, compact heads. The large, perfectly round ones are separated for fresh sales or export. Smaller heads, or those with scratches, are sent for processing into pickled cabbage, packaged soups, or pre-cut vegetables. Sorting directly in the field reduces pressure on the factory and keeps the vegetables in their best condition before transport. Small trucks loaded with cabbage line up as they leave the fields. At the factory, the cabbages are rinsed once more with cold water to remove any remaining soil. They then pass through another round of sorting, using both scanners and human inspection. Cabbages that meet the standard are packed in perforated plastic bags or placed into cartons. Export shipments are stored in cold rooms at 32 to 36 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 0 to 2 degrees Celsius, to maintain freshness throughout their long journey. After the final crates are sealed, the collection yard grows quiet. The leftover cabbage stems are plowed back into the soil, becoming organic fertilizer to nourish the next season's crop. The life cycle of cabbage ends in the field, but a new journey begins on refrigerated trucks, leaving the countryside. What remains is the familiar rhythm of life. The very next morning, farmers return to the fields to plant new seeds. And so, season after season, cabbage stays bound to the hands of those who labor, so that every crisp green leaf is not only food, but also a testament to the endurance of farming. Watermelon harvesting, one of the largest fruits grown on farmlands. When watermelons reach ripeness, workers begin harvesting right in the fields. The first step is checking the fruit. They tap lightly on the rind, listening for a deep, solid thump, or observe whether the stem has dried out. Only those that meet the standards are cut. Specialized knives or shears are used to cut the stems, and each melon is carefully placed in rows on the beds. Watermelons are heavy, averaging between 11 and 22 pounds each, which is about 5 to 10 kilograms, so their transport must be well organized. Workers usually operate in teams. One person cuts, another gathers, and another loads the melons onto small carts or light trucks. The best-looking melons, with smooth, shiny rinds and no scratches, are set aside to avoid damage. Harvesting is usually done in the morning and late afternoon, when temperatures are cooler, to keep the fruit fresh. Once the melons reach the collection point, the sorting process begins. Workers divide them into groups: export quality, uniform melons, round or oblong in shape, with glossy rinds and no cracks. Domestic consumption: smaller fruits or those with slight scratches, but with good flesh quality. Processing: misshapen, cracked, or rejected fruits, which are turned into juice, preserves, or animal feed. Export-quality watermelons are wiped clean, labeled, and packed into cartons or foam-lined plastic crates to prevent bruising. The packed fruit is then placed into cool storage rooms at 50 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, to maintain freshness for several days. For domestic sales, melons are usually loaded directly onto trucks, covered with tarps to shield them from the sun, and transported to wholesale markets. Refrigerated containers are carefully sealed and shipped from the factories to seaports. The main export markets include China, South Korea, Japan, and several Middle Eastern countries. Each shipment can reach hundreds of tons, which is hundreds of metric tons, requiring strict quality and food safety control. Pineapple harvesting, a dangerous job that demands skill and precision. Before cutting pineapples, workers must wear thick protective clothing and gloves because the serrated leaves are sharp and can easily cause scratches. Equipped with short, specialized knives, each worker walks along the rows of pineapple plants. When the fruit has turned evenly golden from the base to the stem, releasing a light fragrance, it is ready for harvest. With one swift cut, the pineapple is separated along with a short stem. Unlike watermelons, pineapples are smaller and easier to handle, averaging between 2 and 4 pounds each, which is about 1 to 2 kilograms. But the quantity is enormous. After cutting, workers place the pineapples into bamboo baskets or plastic crates, then load them onto small tractors or light trucks. This process must be continuous throughout the day, because if pineapples stay too long under the sun, they quickly lose water and their quality declines. At the collection site, the fruits are roughly sorted into 3 groups. Grade 1, export, uniform fruits, golden in color, undamaged, with shallow eyes. Grade 2, domestic sales, smaller fruits, uneven ripeness, or with slight scratches. Grade 3, processing, overripe, misshapen, or bruised fruits sent directly to factories for juice, preserves, or canned products. Export-quality pineapples are washed with clean water systems to remove dirt and sticky sap. They are then surface-dried with cool air and coated with a natural wax layer to help preserve their golden color and reduce moisture loss during transportation. Each fruit is wrapped in foam netting and packed into ventilated cartons. Every box carries labels indicating origin, harvest date, and quality standards. The cartons are stored in cool rooms at 46 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 8 to 12 degrees Celsius, extending freshness for 10 to 14 days. Refrigerated containers filled with pineapple cartons are sealed and transported to ports. Today, pineapples are mainly exported to Japan, South Korea, Europe, and the Middle East. Every shipment must pass strict phytosanitary inspections, especially regarding pesticide residue and uniform ripeness. Across every season, from radishes and carrots to watermelons, pineapples, or cabbages, one truth always stands out. Behind every crop lies the sweat, effort, and patience of the farmers. They do not just plant and harvest, they dedicate their lives to the land, bringing us safe and fresh food. And this journey does not end in the fields. It continues on every truck, every refrigerated container, reaching countries all around the world. If you found this story meaningful, please hit like share this video, and subscribe to our channel to join us in discovering more fascinating secrets about agriculture. Your support is the motivation that drives us to keep telling even more authentic and valuable stories.